I am talking about this piece of garbage in my hands. This device basically bricked my entire system, and it sucks. Low-key, streamers can be really stupid. Buy this. Hey tech channel, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a bit of a rant. For those of you that don't know, I have been a full-time Twitch streamer for the last 7 years almost now. Since I was 14 years old, it's all I've ever done. This video is specifically about one piece of streamer targeted tech. I am talking about the GoXLR. This piece of garbage in my hands right here. And you might be thinking, that's a bit harsh. Loads of people have the GoXLR. Loads of people say it's great. I've seen countless videos on YouTube talking about how great it is. And yes, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I have literally done 4,000 hours of streaming with this piece of tech, and finally I feel ready to make a review about it. So sit back, relax, and if you're new to the Tubputers channel, subscribe. I'm gonna jump over the PC to explain why I dislike this item. Okay, so on paper, the GoXLR looks like a brilliant device, and it has seen massive success. We're talking about on Amazon, this has over 9,000 verified purchase reviews of 5 stars. However, for an item designed for streamers, like made as like the streamer tech genre, much like Elgato, the GoXLR was made by a company called TC Helicon, who honestly have been very prolific in the audio industry. I would put them on the same path as like Focusrite. They have made a lot of professional equipment like this. However, before I get into the negatives, I want to talk about some of the good things. I think it would be a disservice if I didn't mention some of these good things. First of all of these faders here are motorized, which for a device that when I bought it was around £300, having motorized faders, that was very cool. Not a lot of interfaces do that. Some other cool features it has was voice changer, but to be honest, voice changer is not worth £300, people. The sampling was also cool. It had a hold to mute and a beep bleep button. Honestly, all of that can also be achieved with hotkeys. Something which did make it a very attractive device is the fact that it had this line out jack on the back here, which allowed, if you were doing a 2 PC streaming setup, you can route all of your main PC audio to your second PC via this line out. Anyway, back to the problems I had with it. First of all, I think streaming is all about collaboration, and it's all about working with friends. I felt for the in real life section, this device only having one XLR mic input at a cost of £300 is a bit ridiculous. I felt like this was a limiting factor for a lot of the stuff I did. I think if you're paying £300, why is there only one XLR input? That feels ridiculous. That is one of my lesser serious gripes. Now on to the more serious things. Right. The software for this device, when it was first released, was a massive selling point of it. To my knowledge, now, that software has been discontinued and unmaintained, and as Windows has updated, and many operating systems have updated, and new hardware drivers have come out, this software is an unstable, buggy mess. It has got to the point where it's so bad, where if the USB disconnects from the GoXLR from the computer and reconnects, it crashes every application open on the PC that interacts with this audio interface, which is pretty much everything. That was the most frustrating thing I found when I was live, is how regularly this device basically bricked my entire system. Now, on to the second biggest issue I had with this device, which then made me buy a second device, which I now also don't use. Oh my god, the power. This DC input port on the GoXLR repeatedly fails. But it doesn't fail like the port's dodgy, it fails like the device itself and the board inside it is dodgy. For example, if you got up from your desk and like knocked your desk, the power would cut on the device, therefore causing the USB to disconnect from the computer, crashing every application. Having this on your desk while live, I found, is basically like having a ticking time bomb for your live stream. I wasn't originally gonna make this video because I thought this was just a problem with me, because I do some funky stuff to my computer, some funky stuff to my operating system, but no. I have so many other streamer friends that have had this exact same problem with the GoXLR. And because the software is discontinued, they're not gonna update and fix it. And those videos which are still glazing this device for the software are still up to this day. People are still buying this to date, unrealizing that there is basically no support for this device. There is no updates, and it's bricking computers. And this is coming from someone someone who has literally spent 4,000 hours streaming with this thing. I have bought 2 separate units. Both have had the exact same power hardware failure and the USB disconnect software crashing problem over multiple different computers. I'm talking my home computer, I'm talking my travel PC, I'm talking about my office PC. All 3 of these Windows 11 desktops have had this exact same problem. And I've been looking online, I found Reddit posts with like many other people having these same issues, but no one has got a fix for it. The GoXLR used to be the king of streaming technology. It has legacy. Many streamers still have this piece of tech on their desk. It's just really frustrating that I have paid £300 twice for this device, but there is no software support. I think it is so stupid for devices to be so dependent on software and then have that software no longer maintained. There are graphics cards cheaper than this. And it sucks. And I think it's really scummy. It's not just designed for obsolescence. It almost feels you're scamming the consumer. And this is why I absolutely hate the GoXLR with a passion, and you will never see me use this in a stream setup ever again. If you're a streamer and you take anything away from this video, it's very easy for new streamers to be like, oh my gosh, I just got my first Twitch payout. Let me buy the flashy streamer tech. No, the flashy streamer tech is totally for show, and I guarantee you the majority of the streamers that use it were sent it for free. Now, let me give you some actual recommendations which are better than this piece of garbage I'm dual wielding right now. Okay, up first, this is the Rode Procaster. This thing was a beast. If you remember back to my live streams I did in 2021, I used this for almost all of them. The most popular one I did was my Halloween stream a while back, which averaged around, what, 230,000 viewers? All of that was done using this interface with little to no problems. The Rodecaster Pro costs the exact same amount as the GoXLR. What I will say is the Rodecaster Pro doesn't have the most advanced software, but also that's okay, because all of the downfall and problems of the GoXLR software you will not have with this device, because it can function completely independently if you don't have the software installed. You get 4 XLR mic inputs, so it's perfect for podcasting, or let's say you have a stream you have multiple guests on, like down a long table, each person has their own mic. That is great. It has noise gates on the device. I will say the sliders are not motorized. In terms of soundboard, you can load sounds onto here. Very, very nice. You can control your computer audio via this slider. You can connect your phone via a 3.5mm jack, and also you have a Bluetooth connection which can also connect to your phone. Something else which is really nice about this interface is that you have a right and left speaker out, as well as 4 headphone jacks. The amount of connectivity for the same price, as well as USB-C out to computer to have all of the connections come through to OBS for a single feed, which is very nice. Also, something which Rode does, which the GoXLR doesn't, is this DC power connector here has a screw on it. So you're not gonna damage the port if you're moving stuff around. It is screwed on. It's much like a VGA cable. I will say this device is an older device, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Any stream I was doing with more than one person, I was using this device, and I was so satisfied with the quality. I think Rode really know their shit when it comes to audio, and they're not trying to target streamers. Because, low-key, streamers can be really, really stupid. Rode aren't marketing to someone who's stupid. They're marketing to someone that already knows their audio, which is why they took out the flashy features like motorized sliders, and they just jammed it full of everything you'd want. So for the same price, if you're looking for something like a GoXLR and you want something the same price, the Rodecaster Pro, not the Rodecaster Pro 2, that's a lot more expensive, but the Rodecaster Pro literally will serve you so well. So well. But I understand £300 is a lot of money to spend for something that you just plug microphones into. So I have another thing to show you. Just to show you how much I prefer the cheapest option here. The device is currently plugged into my computer. This is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo 2i2 Gen 4. Again, very limited software, much like the Rode Procaster, but it has enough to be good. Focusrite are incredible when it comes to the audio industry. I have not had any issues with these boxes. I use them for travel setups. You can put it in a bag. It's durable. The whole chassis is one piece of metal. Like, it is a durable device. This is just the essentials. You get 2 XLR microphone inputs, which I love, as well as a left and right speaker output, which I also love. USB-C to export everything to the computer in one mix. On the front, You then get 2 jack inputs for either a piano or a guitar if you like music. It has built-in direct monitoring. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's when you speak and you can hear your own voice in real time in your ears. Kind of useful if you're a gamer, that when you've got your headphones in, you end up shouting a lot and upsetting family members or neighbors. Having direct monitor on is kind of a lifesaver. It also has an air mode for microphones, which is basically Focusrite's let me make your voice sound better button, as well as you've got an instrument button for if you're using instrument, 48 volt for something known as phantom power, for microphones that require 48 volts of power, and there's also an auto button, which if you're just speaking at normal volume into your microphone, doing like a mic check, and tap the auto button, the device will automatically set the gain to what you need. However, it does all sound very good on paper, but there is a drawback. This device doesn't really support any hardware filters. So how the GoXLR did all its filters in software, the Rodecaster did all of its filters on inbuilt software on the device, this device very much will output your clean audio to your computer, which means if you record to Audacity or an OBS or an Adobe Audition, you'll need to apply the filters manually in there. But this device comes in at half the price of those other two at £150, and they have cheaper options. This is the Gen 4, so this is the new and shiny. The Gen 3 I have also used. This is actually what I would recommend if you're a small streamer and you've got your first Twitch payout and you want to spend some serious money upgrading your setup. Buy this. I've used the Focusrite audio interface ecosystem for so long. I will say the software has come a long way. On older devices, the software for these really suck, but now they're in a place where I'm like, I would pick this over most stuff. So yeah, that was my rant. That was my PSA. I understand that the GoXLR is, or was, a very loved product for streamers, but I just wanted to share my experience over using it for thousands of hours and what things have really destroyed this product. You can get professional sounding audio on a live stream, on a Discord call, in a YouTube video without spending £300 on an audio interface. This is my PSA. I won't make videos like this very often, but I was just getting so frustrated with this device. I would feel bad if I didn't say anything about it and share my true experience with it. Tech channel, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. It's been a pleasure as always. If you're interested in the streaming I do, I'm live over on Twitch around 6 PM UK every single day. Later, tech channel. See you next week. Woo!